12:02, and what I want to do is call the meeting to order now. And we do have a quorum, so I'm going to ask item number 2, adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
I move approval.
Motion.
Okay.
Motion.
Okay. Get a second?
Second.
Hello? Okay. All right. It's been properly moved and second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, item number 3, we're going to go. But let me just say that, first of all, I'm happy to have everybody here today. You know, we just working through these troubling times, and I think we're doing a good job. We're making some impact, and I feel so good myself. So let's go ahead and I don't think we're gonna have a very long meeting today, but we'll go ahead and move into item 3.
Colonel Lee.
John, yes, sir.
I concur with your thoughts and sentiments.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. We're having a good time. So let's go ahead and take item 3. Adopt the FTA CARES Act.
2 participants are now joining.
No, Midlands Transit.
Okay, well, what did we leave that off? Oh yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, let's go to the Midlands Transit. Hold a minute here. Okay, it is a little convoluting sometimes. Okay, here we go. Okay, the next item on the agenda, but item 3, Midland Transit Association update. Do we have anybody from Midland Transit?
I don't hear them on the line, and no, we don't have anybody here representing them right now.
Okay, so there's nobody from Midland Transit. How about, okay, let's go on to item 4, call to the public. Do we have anybody who signed up to speak today?
Well, there's a passenger might be here now.
Do we have someone?
No, I'd like a copy of the finance report.
Okay, no public to speak.
Okay, no public to speak. Okay, then let's go on to item number 5. Item number 5 is the approval of the minutes from March.
I move approval is distributed.
Okay, can I get a second?
I have no idea.
Second.
Okay, properly moved and second.
Second Huggins.
Okay.
I don't have any here.
Okay, properly moved and second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, properly moved and second. The minutes are approved. Item number 6.
I'll have to print it. I'll get it for you in just a moment, okay?
And I need a copy of the program.
Okay.
Item number 6 is matters approved, deferred to the board, referred to the board from the committee from the board. John, do you want to take the lead on that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, page 11 has a list of the outstanding motions that are in the purview of the service committee. First one relates to the long-term service plan in Richland County. We're still analyzing the data from the ride checks that the consultant has done. We're also working on setting up a website for the Reimagine the Comet project so that the public can get information on this project and be able to see like survey documents and any research information that we gather. The next part relates to the park and ride lot plan. We're not there yet, but that'll be a latter phase as part of the short-range transit plan effort. The streetscape plan for the Hardin and Taylor Street project, Davis Employees has gotten securement from Allen University and Benedict College to allow us to remove those parking spaces. So therefore, we are working on finalizing the permit with SCDOT so we can build the super stop at Hardin and Taylor. And then the last one, the review the safety plan. Safety plan is still being developed. We hope to bring some safety targets to the board to review at the May meeting, since we need to provide those to SCDOT. but we don't anticipate the safety plan being ready until the June service committee meeting at the earliest. That's all I have to report. Can I answer any questions?
Colonel Leaks, I have a question.
Go ahead, Derek.
Okay, John, who's the architect for the super stop at Hardin and Taylor?
That is Brownstone.
Okay. Do you have a rendering of it?
Yes, we have a layout plan, which is basically building a bus turnout with some trees and shelter and benches and bike racks.
Okay, very good.
I
Can you just
provide the
send
layout.
that to me, please? Yeah, just send that to me, please.
Would you send it to all of us, please?
Yeah, per board policy 6, I'll send it to all board members since the request has been made.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions to John on there? John, I maybe I missed it. I had some background noise, but what's our status? We did have a situation with Benedict over there. Did you get that straight?
Yes, I reached out to the president of Benedict University, and she was supportive of the project, and she provided us a letter supporting the project, and she just doesn't want the bus shelter to block the Benedict College sign.
All right, good then. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay, well, thank you very much, John. We move on to item number 7, which is TransDev operation report. Is Larry here? Hello? Anybody from TransDev to give this report?
Should be on the line.
Larry? Stand by, Mr. Lee. Let me call.
All right. Let's hold on for a minute. Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
would this be TransDev last report?
Yes, sir. Are you on the service committee?
Yes.
Service committee
Hold on.
call. It's time for your report.
There'd be one in June, wouldn't it, Mr. Fergus?
Yeah, one more in June.
One more in June, okay.
Yes, sir.
Carolyn Gleason.
Mr. Fergus,
Is
answer your
now joining.
question. TransDev's last report will be next month.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We
Okay,
will
Carolyn.
have to in July because TransDev won't be here, and we'll be reporting on June's figures. More likely it'll be staff from the comments that will speak on behalf of TransDev at the July meeting for the June service.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so Larry, you ready?
Get it on the line.
Good.
Carolyn Gleason in.
Hi, Ms. Gleason.
I'm Ms. Gleason.
Thank you.
Okay, Larry's on the line, or did he get disconnected?
Not on yet. 1 second, please.
Okay. Do you want to, what would I do?
Well, while we're waiting for him, I'll just comment that I was very glad to see that we had 0 preventable accidents in this report. That's welcome news.
Yes, it is. 0. Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing would have to I'd have to wait to question because, we went from this. We've got 43% on-time performance here, and we went from that to a much higher number last time, and we're told that was because they were doing actual counts, but a sampling, and which put them up in the 80-something%, and now suddenly here we are back in the 43, and I'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah, but this is for what? This is for
based on and Ms. Moon, based on actual counts, they're at 96. When you look at the AVL, it's showing 43. So we're still working with Clever Device on that. And actually, I need to follow up with them today to see where they are in
Okay.
getting that fixed.
So we just can't,
The
we
actual
can't put
count-
confidence in that number until we hear more from you.
Yeah, so the 96 is just based on manual counts at Common Central for all the.
Well, I don't have a 96 on what I'm looking at. All I have is the 43
Okay.
on page 12 of the attachments.
Oh, if you look, I sent the committee members the presentation, the KPI presentation. The 96 will be on that one.
Okay.
You, check your email.
16. All right. Well, I tell you what. Maybe we need to just go ahead and skip this and come back to Larry.
Leroy, may I just ask, Leroy, are you on the line?
Yes.
Can you go downstairs and help Larry get online, and we'll just move on and then come back.
Okay. In the meantime, let's go ahead to item 8, ridership report from John and Eric. Is Eric in this morning? Eric here? If not, John, go ahead and take the lead on that for me, please. Ridership report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. All right, so the ridership report is on page 17 of your packet. You will notice that we had a significant drop in ridership. We had 222,000 boardings in 2019. We declined to 189,258 boardings in 2020, so a decline of 33,655. That is due to COVID-19 taking effect and the state of emergency that occurred nationwide and in South Carolina. And then our reduction of service from weekday to Saturday level of service. And proportionately, all of our services declined with the exception of Flex Route and Sunday service, which slightly increased. On the Flex Route side, the reason why that increased is because we created more Flex Routes this fiscal year as compared to last fiscal year. In summary, because of the fact that we've lost significant ridership, about 46% after March 19, the measures of the services are not showing good performance. We're hoping that when we look at the April performance, even though ridership is still going to be down, that because we adjusted service to Sunday levels, that some of the performance measures will increase. On page 20, we also gave you some detailed reports on the change of ridership in March and April. So you can kind of see how we were in 2018, what happened in 2019, and where we landed in 2020. So ultimately, we were 46% down in March of 2020 as compared to March of 2019. We also broke out the comparative ridership numbers, so if you wanted the actual data to see, in April, we were overall down 34.17% from March and 46% down from April of 2019. Whereas in March, we were down, approximately 18.37% from March last year, but collectively we were down 55% between the first period of March and the second period of March. So this COVID-19 has definitely affected transit ridership on the common.
Yes, it has. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nobody's hauling on the buses now. Which everybody's listening and being careful.
And that's definitely what we want.
Right. And you're doing a good job.
Well, now we're going into a reopening phase right now, and I think we'll pick up. I know you have, huh? You have planned for that, and our ridership will pick up. And let me just ask you, do we have any kind of are we going to do any advertising? We have anything, whenever that time comes, anything laid on the shelf that we can just pull off and put into action in terms of how we're going to let people know we're back up and that kind of thing. I'm sure you do, right, John?
Yes, we do. Marketing does have all those items ready. At the present time, because we're at 50% capacity on our buses, and we're running a Sunday level of service, and when we go into the COVID-19 discussion, we're going to be asking to go to Saturday level of service. But we don't feel comfortable in trying to sell the system right now until we can ensure that
Two participants are now joining.
has reopened, and then that we are reopening cautiously and safely. Because I feel like if we start overcrowding the buses, especially at 50% capacity, it's going to put a financial strain on the authority, as well as create a poor customer experience for our riders.
Right. You got to be careful.
Very good. Okay. All right. Any other comments on that ridership? If not, we're going to go back. Is Larry on the line yet?
Colonel Leaks, 2 people joined.
Yes.
Can you announce yourself?
Can you hear
Hello?
me? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, Larry. Well, we had to skip over your report, but since you're here now, if you go ahead and give us your report.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you much.
Not a problem. Okay, so for the month of March, the TransDev Operations and Safety Monthly Report Summary, we didn't have any preventable accidents, which is good, but we did have 4 non-preventable accidents. The safety awareness meeting focused on precaution for COVID-19. Safety awareness notices that we were putting out. Operations beginning in March 19th, we reduced to a Saturday service in response to COVID-19. We experienced layoffs, again, due to the same. In an effort to encourage social distancing, we implemented several procedures, including rear boarding, no fare, seating in every other seat, as well as providing PPE for all of our employees, including N95 masks, gloves, and hand sanitizer in the form of wipes that they can take with them. Maintenance was pretty busy for the month of March, as always. Facility maintenance was busy doing things here at Comet Central. Down at Comet Central as well as here at Lucius Road. And going on to fleet maintenance, our miles between road calls is holding steady about 13,000 miles for the month. So do you have any questions for me about anything?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Leo.
Larry,
Yes,
I'll say to you what I said before you got on the line, and that is that I'm really grateful to see that no preventable accidents. That's good news, and I'm glad to see that.
Good.
And then my question is, what are you hearing from the drivers about our riders' response to the precautions? How are they complying? Are they? Have you had any problems with compliance? Just tell me how that's working.
Well, initially there was a lot of pushback and resistance to social distancing, but it seems to have gotten much, much better. Although we still have, buses that people are wanting to get on, and buses that are running full. And in response to that, we have put out a bus called a pusher, which would follow a bus en route, knowing that he's pulling out a certain location full, and then he's coming behind him to pick up those people. In fact, just before I got on the meeting, just before I came in the call, I was at dispatch, and we had a Route 301 called in saying that they had left people. So what we were able to do was take somebody who was waiting to go out on the 1215 pusher, go out, pick up those folks, and get them to where they had to go, so that we're not leaving people. And, we're keeping track of all the buses that are calling in full every day. And this has brought us to the conclusion that we do indeed need to go to the ramp up service to Saturday service, which will be next week.
I didn't hear you.
Unknown
Say again?
participant is now exiting.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last.
Okay, we missed the last part of your statement about Saturday service and got cut off right there. Something.
Okay. So like I said, keeping track of buses that are calling in full and making sure that, we're not leaving anyone stranded. We put out a couple of buses to take care of that, where this is, just made us move going towards Saturday service, which, like I said, will be implemented a week from today.
That sounds real good. That sounds good. Yeah, because we don't need to leave nobody out there waiting.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Any other comments, questions to Larry? If not, Larry, that's a good report. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to, we'll move on now to item number 9.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, Larry, can you please update the committee about the operation manager status?
Oh, sure. Not a problem.
Oh, yeah.
So my operations manager is out for personal reasons starting today. And in the interim, what I have done is I have proposed that we promote one of my supervisors, one of my longtime and dare I say best performing supervisors, Tyrone Gambrill. I would like to promote him to interim operations manager while my operations manager is out, because it'll be for an extended time. We're not sure exactly how long, but in the meanwhile, I would like him to step up.
Is now joining.
I'm sorry, I thought, did I click on somebody?
You keep going, yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm proposing, that he acts as the interim operations manager while Jackie is away.
Sounds real good. That sounds good.
Yeah, that update on the human resource report, yeah, that looks good. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, well, if that's it, then thank you, Larry. We'll go ahead on to, now we'll move on to item number 9. Discussion and action items, and again, John and Eric are going to take the lead on this.
So I'll take the lead on this one. The first one will be the passenger amenities report from Todd and Zane at Davidson Floyd.
Yes, this is Zane McGee. Davidson Floyd. Good afternoon.
How you doing, sir?
Doing well. In the past month, you'll notice our report has been a little bit updated to show the information differently. Hope this works better to relay information that we're on what we're working on. So I guess the biggest highlights for the past month are that we were able to get one stop approved, one additional stop approved, stop number 103. That's at the McDonald's on Broad River Road. And that also included some additional sidewalk work that will connect that stop to another, since that's one of the super stops at that area. So we got that approved, and I think it's probably under construction right now. We're also continuing to work with the schools at Allen and Benedict. Work with them to get the Hardin-Taylor site fully approved. Benedict has provided the approval on their end, and now we're just waiting on Allen, and then we'll start moving that forward to the city and then back to the POT.
Sounds good.
And then other big update is that we've got, I believe, 8 sites that fall under the work in progress. They're listed there. Those are, the site plans. Just having Eric look back over those, make sure everything is what y'all are asking for, and then we're going to move this forward with SCDOT permit.
I'm looking at the what I got in the packet, and did you say there's a list of sites where that's work in progress? I don't see that in my packet. I see completed sites.
On page 21, work in progress.
Yeah, at the bottom,
Yes.
at the bottom part there. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the bottom part.
Oh
page
yeah, I
21.
see it now. I was looking at the next
Mhm.
thing. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mhm.
I want to ask you something about the stop 467 Bluff Road in Flamingo. Do you have any additional information on that one?
This is Todd with Davidson Floyd. I'll chime in on that. We have, I know that we've talked to the homeowner there, and they've made a request to try to screen them out a little bit more if we could. We're working with the shelter manufacturer to see what kind of panels that they provide that will fit our shelters that can be a little more screening. And we're also looking at any, like an additional fencing option that could block their view of our shelter. And we have a meeting with DOT scheduled for tomorrow afternoon to kind of present some of those options to see their opinion on those as well.
Okay, thank you much. Very good. Any other comments or questions? All right. Okay, then if there's no other comments or questions, we'll move on to, thank you very much for that report. We'll move on to the next item. Okay, John, item the COVID-19 service update.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I would like to just update this committee on the actions that have been discussed at the COVID-19 ad hoc committee over the past month. We've been fairly aggressive in trying to keep our passengers and employees safe. And page 26 kind of gives you a list of all the things that we've done in order to help keep our passengers safe as well as our employees. The committee has been meeting every Friday, which is providing guidance to staff and the board in relation on how to address operations in this ever-changing environment. Today, what I'd like to talk to the committee about is basically we are at a point where we need to change our service level, and we need to go to a Saturday service level. Since the state of emergency has officially ended, because the governor has not extended it, and things are starting to reopen, we're starting to see a slight increase in ridership, but not enough increase in ridership to warrant full service. So we have started preparing plans to go back to a Saturday level service, but it's an enhanced Saturday level of service. And as part of that enhanced Saturday level of service, we would restore 30-minute service on all of our 3-digit routes between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. So that would be 101 on North Main, 301 on Farrow Road, 401 on Divine, 501, which is already running 30-minute service on Two Notch, 701 on Forest Drive, and then 801 during the peak periods on Broad River Road. We will continue to have the on-demand service in the areas of the Route 74, which primarily operates along Laurel Street and to Forest Acres, during the as well as the Route 46 corridor, which is the Lower Richland Boulevard area, between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. The routes that were suspended on Saturdays would come back, so that would include 96L in West Columbia, Casey, 91 in Springdale, Casey, 57L along Clemson and Killian Roads in Northeast Richland, and 47 in the Eastover, Gadsden, Hopkins area, as examples. We're still recommending that we continue with fare free at this point.
Altoon
is now exiting.
To continue to help regrow the ridership. And Transdev has prepared a timeline of how we can get back to a Saturday level of service. This will result in having to retrain some of their employees because they've been out of work for more than 30 days, since we're adding more buses to the system, and that we would start cleaning bringing back some buses that have been parked in our reserve lot back into service so that we have ample buses to run this 30-minute enhanced level of service. To continue on that, the Finance Committee did support the COVID-19 Ad Hoc Committee's recommendation on the CARES Act funding plan. So that will be presented to the board later this week for approval. And once that is approved, then we can work on implementing those actions that were discussed, which include a service recognition bonus for employees that did not work from home, testing for all the employees, purchase of additional personal protective equipment to protect employees and passengers on our system, and then, of course, the payment of the Transdev invoices through June 30, 2020, utilizing these funds with no local match. So it's been a very daunting time the last couple of months, but I think we're strategically coming ahead well, and I commend the efforts of the COVID-19 Ad Hoc Committee in helping us do this strategically and methodically, as well as Transdev and being able
to rejoining
is now joining.
Ever-changing environment that we have had in the last 2 months. And I'll be happy to answer any questions on this report.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Leah, go ahead.
John, I know some of the items that were taken up by the COVID Ad Hoc Committee needed to be on the Finance Committee agenda today. So were all of those covered, and can you tell us anything about that?
Yes, they were covered, and they were approved by the Finance Committee to recommend to the board. So both committees have supported the plan.
Okay, thank you.
Finance Committee did add the caveat that they don't want us to spend the money until we have an approved grant from FTA. From conversations with FTA, it takes about 1 week to process the grant once it's in the system. So I'm going to follow up with our grants and regional coordination manager to make sure that she has it in the system, ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And once that's approved, can we apply things like the special recognition back to retroactively, or?
Yes, we can. Everything is retroactive to January 2020. For the special recognition bonus, we're starting with March 23rd. That's the same date that the federal government passed that additional $600 for those unemployed to get that extra bump in their unemployment check.
Okay, good.
And then we are also starting to set up the testing arrangements so that we can start testing all the employees as well as employees that are returning to work.
Well, that's good. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Derek, go ahead.
I just want to commend John and staff on making it happen, and also the Ad Hoc Committee on COVID, pushing this through, and I think this is gonna go a long way with us.
Thank you very much. I agree 100%. Very good. All right. Any other comments?
I would like to, if you don't mind, if I can get a motion from this committee to recommend that we return to enhanced Saturday level of service, and that the COVID ad hoc committee will continue to monitor the service levels to ultimately recommend when we should go back to weekday level of service.
Motion.
And I second.
Can I get it? Okay, properly moved in second. All in favor? Let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, ayes have it. So that's the motion approved. All right, the next item is now we have a motion period. A motion period. Are there any motions for this period? Do we have to? Anybody wants to make a motion to take to the board? That's what these are for, aren't they? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No motions.
We need that motion on the Saturday to come.
Yeah, we just
So
made
that was a motion.
Yeah, that was a motion, and we voted on that, so that's approved. We're gonna go back to Saturday service.
Enhanced Saturday service.
As enhanced as needed. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so that goes to the board for approval this week?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Okay, all right. How about legal and contractual personnel?
We have none at this time, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Okay, then, with that being said, then that brings us to item 12, which is adjournment. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that the meeting adjourn.
Second? Okay, I second that.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, very good. Okay, now the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good afternoon.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.